All right, let's see here. Hopefully this is not echoing like it was the other day. Just tinkering around here. Hope everybody's doing all right. Since I had such a bad live stream the other day, was that Sunday? It is up there, and if you are a subscriber, you probably have the link to that. But had some interesting stuff. I'm not going to really redo that. But just sitting here and tinkering around on the bench after getting kids to sleep and everything. May not do a whole lot. Interested to see if anybody's out there and what you might be tinkering with this evening or this week. But yeah, there we go. This is interesting. I got this in from Amazon. There's a thing going around the last week or so about the, I think it was an Amazon Sidewalk. Their little network. I know it's kind of controversial for some folks because I think it's basically, anywhere that's probably got like an Alexa or a Ring, or whichever one. I get people mixed up which doorbell belongs to who. Whichever one's Amazon's, kind of creating a little network for, I don't know. I mean, the options are kind of endless, I guess. But I thought, I looked real quick. I was like, hey, ooh, is this a dev kit? And it's not. I think this is just a thing to help them map out their coverage. So I'm going to open it up and see what it looks like in here. If you go, I think it's sidewalk.amazon.com. It's got like a coverage map, which if you look at it, it's it's crazily dense. Anywhere that's, got any kind of population, it's actually kind of surprising, which does make me want to think of, it'd be fun to play with a dev kit to think of some stuff that might be doable. I think, for whatever you're messing with though, I think it's really can only talk to stuff or app or server or service that's in the cloud, in Amazon cloud, which I guess makes sense. But I mean, if you had two devices that could talk to that and I'm not sure, some small instance in the cloud, you could almost make like a little, two-way radio thing or something. Maybe not. I don't know. It will be neat to play with. There's some neat things that you could do with that. I think, anyway, I'm going to open this up and see what's going on in here. Hopefully I don't have any other address stuff in here. I better probably look and see. This is a lot of box for a little bit of stuff. Yeah. There's not much in here. Let's see what we got. Oh, there's not much to this, is there? Let's see. Looks like a Fitbit or something. Is this just, yeah. Like a holder for the thing? Oh, yeah, okay. I guess this is just you strap it to, I don't know, what do you strap that to? A bike? Almost looks like one of those little rubber bands, like, when you put like a light on a bike or something. So I guess it's just interesting. It's got the Ring branding on it too. So that's all this is really, is a tracker thing essentially. I guess it reports back somehow. I didn't even look at the documentation yet. Let's see what this QR code on the back of it goes to. See if it does anything. It might. Oh, it's wanting me to install a Ring. Interesting. I don't know if I'm getting into that tonight. I want to read more about it before I plug this thing in and do stuff. Maybe something I'll let charge. Maybe I'll let it charge up tomorrow while I'm working and stuff and play with it later. Let's see here. On the off chance that you want, I ordered some stickers because there was a sale, but they're labels basically. I don't think I think they're upstairs. I'll show you. Essentially like This, the logo, but it's a circle, but it's giant. It's like 3 inches. So if anybody wants one of those and I can get it to you relatively easy, I'll be glad to send you some stickers. Just let me know one way or another. It shouldn't be that hard to figure out how to send a message to me. Alrighty, so I was looking again at this stuff. I think I'm going to play around a little bit. The stream from the other night, I was playing around with opening up this number 89. I think it's 89, yeah. Whatever's in the description of the video there. The hacker box with this Y-Spy kit. And I saw somebody the other day too, they were talking about doing sockets on there. That seemed like a pretty decent idea, because these, all the little modules here could be interesting to have to take off. Maybe not the SD reader, but the little cell phone module and the GPS module, as well as the ESPs, it could be handy for different little projects. You could pull them off and do some little project or something with them if you wanted to try something, but and then stick them back on here if you wanted to use it in the original config. And if we socketed that would make that a lot easier instead of permanently soldering to it. So I think this is like a good idea. I may try to do that. I'm trying to see if the headers I had recently purchased will fit in there. The ones like I used. Yeah, let's see here. We can look and see. When I was goofing with the Nabu and spacing out that serial chip thing, assuming that these would work okay. Zoom in a little bit. That's just these little rolled pin header things. I bet that would probably work okay. Let's see here. Yeah. May not fit the, which I don't have a case for this, so I'm not trying to meet a certain dimension. And I've seen some 3D printed ones out there. I could probably modify an existing one if I needed to make allowances for the extra height of socketing these. Now, is there a problem with what these are like sticking into here? Because these have kind of long pins, right? Let's see. And it doesn't matter if it doesn't seat all the way, but if they're not compatible at all, because these are kind of like header pins, that might be a non-starter for these. Yep. That's not going to go in here. This is too thick. This is like regular old, like breadboard size pins instead of like chip size pins. So that is not going to go. So that is not going to work. Now, if I had a regular socket, that would maybe work. Got some rolled pin ones there. What with those? But I've got a whole big thing of generic ones. But I bet I would have to modify. I bet I would have to modify them to make them work. Let me look here. Let's see if one of those would work. It's a rolled pin one. That definitely will not work. Well, of course I'm looking for it live and I'm not going to be able to find it. Now I'll have to turn this place upside down probably then. But let's see. Here's this a roll pin one. Actually, here you go. So, but this one's all jacked up, but the normal cheapy kind with the white or whatever you're gonna call them, that would probably work in there. But I'd have to get different ones to work with that. So maybe I'll look into that. Or it's it's not the these aren't super expensive, so maybe I'll just solder it and this will end up being a single-use device. I don't know. What do you think? I don't think I'm going to get into that tonight, though. Let's save that for another time. let's see, where's the, yeah, I'll show this again. Said I wasn't going to do a repeat, but the audio was all jacked up the other night. This is a neat kit that I think I may try to do. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it before this or after, but this is a neat system called the Kinback. Let me find the front plate, yeah. So, well, it's a small clone of the Kinback. Let's check out this front plate here. You saw the original or Sunday stream. This is a repeat, so sorry. But if you didn't, so check this out. So this is I guess was a micro Kinback, I guess. And if you Google for Kinback, Kenbak, I think the guy was Ken Blankenbecker, I believe, created this in 1971. It was, well, what this one's a clone of anyway. And it was pretty cool. It was, some say now, I guess, or it depends on who you ask, if it was the first personal computer. But you can, there are no peripherals or anything like that or user interface. It was more like probably like a learning aid, I guess, more than anything. But it was something that a normal person or hobbyist could buy. It wasn't a kit. It was not a kit to my knowledge. But it used I guess, what do you call it? Discrete logic. There were no CPUs at that time to use, so it's all kind of old school how it was built up. But basically, this has a there's not a whole lot to it, but I think it looks pretty cool. Basically, you got this PCB here that has an Atmega chip on there with some code, and you got some shift registers, I guess, to deal with the switches and the LEDs. And you can see here where all the switches are. But the code that runs on the Atmega basically will let the switches and everything behave as a real Kinback. So that's kind of neat. So we got some LEDs there. These are the little switch buttons. These are some nice aluminum pieces for the case. Little chassis USB for power. Such chips I was talking about before. It's a real-time clock. Oh, that might have been something else. Let's see. No, that might be a serial adapter thing. This is the real-time clock. Some little hex standoffs. All the nice clicky switches for it. USB to micro B cable. And this is the case. So it's got the same kind of shape, but this one's obviously not as deep. If you Google for the Kinback one, you'll see it's kind of big. These are some cool, they're kind of like the originals. Little aluminum machine pieces that go on the ends here as part of the original look of things. So that's a fun kit. I think that might be the next thing I do, is just record that, then I'll add some stuff around it. So I mean, there's no need I don't have to reinvent the wheel for like what the system was all about or anything. There's enough of that out there, but just I could do a little bit about it and the history of it, and then just go through a little quick time lapse of building it, and then trying to think if there was an original manual for it, if it had like a little exercise or something in there to follow. We could kind of go through one of the little exercises maybe and see how it works. Well, that is probably all I'm going to do right now. I almost want to just make sure that do this and make sure I have my sound thing sorted out. So that's it. Just talking about some ideas for the Wi-Spy, maybe using some sockets with it, and the old Kinback here. So that is all. I hope everybody's doing all right and having a good week so far. And we'll talk to you again later. Take care, and bye-bye.